Hi, today's lesson is going to be on a term called quality control, which is one of the many examples I like for the class, you to think about how science relates to technology and relates to society. First off, I'd want you to read the Sumrall and Schillinger quality control article that I have on Blackboard for you. In addition, I'm going to show you a website that we developed last year called STEMWise, and I believe that article is also attached to the particular activity I want you to do. This activity should prepare you for one of the assignments in this class, which is to come up with your own quality control activity yourself. With that, when you read the instructions, it does require that you run the idea in front of me before you start the actual activity. For safety reasons, I need to know what it is you're planning on doing at home. So to get started, I just want to kind of give you the materials to do this activity as my model for what is quality control. And get you started just a little bit. I don't ever like to try to kill inquiry with students because I want you to get the results. And we'll talk a little bit about how to get consistency in the test and measurement process when doing this activity. I don't think we'll be able to do it as a class and compare our data very well for a number of reasons. We can try and see how it works. Because basically on the discussion board I'm going to ask you some questions about the activity, and I'm also going to ask that you share your data with the class. So this activity is looking at quality control based on the flexibility of plastic spoons, and I've got an actual little scenario drawn up with the activity when you read it on STEMWise, the website. But to do the activity, you need a clamp of some type, and I brought a couple from my workshop that'll work fine, the fancy one and the one that's pretty inexpensive. You'll also need a spring scale like this. Now this is a fancy science laboratory one that measures in newtons and grams. And I'd like for our answers to be in newtons. Thank goodness for Google. You can now convert just about anything quite easily with your smartphone. So what I'm trying to say is you can actually get a fishing scale that measures in pounds, and then after you use that, convert your numbers. So to start with this activity, you need to get a variety of spoons, and I want to kind of go through the website version of the activity, but I think the spoons, that are in the little table that's there is from Wendy's, from Burger King, McDonald's, and maybe Chick-fil-A is the fourth one. I realize y'all are all over the place, and perhaps you don't have one of those. Everybody has a McDonald's, I think, but you may not have a Wendy's in your area. You may not have a Chick-fil-A, and that's okay. You can substitute. You could go to the grocery store and get your plastic spoons for this activity. The key is, though, that you do get at least 3 from each restaurant. Now, we're going to be looking at quality control, but we're also going to be comparing spoon type to spoon type from different restaurants. Quality control is within one specific brand. It's looking to see if the manufacturing process is the same each time a spoon at Wendy's, for example, is made. I've always said that quality control is what makes our country exceptional as far as manufacturing. We basically can make the same thing over and over and over. There's a television show on, I believe it's maybe it's the History Channel, one of these channels, How It's Made. I think if you watch that, you'll see how we are able to manufacture the same over and over and over. And that doesn't actually take place everywhere in this country. I mean, not in the world. In this country, we do a pretty good job. If you're not clear on what quality control is, make sure you read the Sumrall and Schillinger article that I co-wrote several years ago. It is about quality control, and it's on Blackboard, and also you can access it when you go look at the link on our website called STEMWise. So, to set it up, basically all you're going to do is you're going to have your spoon, and before I get started, I think pre-drilling and making a hole works better. So this spoon actually has a hole pre-drilled into it, which is something else you can do. And the only reason why I'm suggesting that is sometimes the neck, the scale will slip off when you're measuring the bending of the spoon. So a hole will work better. And basically, you take your clamp and you clamp the spoon down like this. Get it nice and tight with your table. Hopefully I'm missing the underneath here. So, here we are. I got it tight now. The cameraman's laughing at me because I can't do my own activity. All right. What you'll might need a helper to do this, but basically you'll need a protractor, spoon, clamp, spring scale, and how this works is you hook it into the hole, and I think the directions are that you bend it 30 degrees from horizontal. You can actually do this perpendicular as well, and you'll need your spring scale, your protractor to measure, you pulling it down 30 degrees, and I kept it at 30 degrees, so you'll need to get it eye level, which I'm not. But you'll measure the pull on the spring scale, the newtons. I can't see it where I am. This is why you need two people to measure. But you'll do this 3 times, a minimum of 3 times with the same spoon from well, not the same spoon, but a spoon from the same location. For example, 3 Wendy's spoons. And you'll measure and you'll record your data. I'd like for it to be in newtons if possible. Now, this little activity comes up with a lot of possibilities as far as error. For example, if your next spoon on here, you tighten it and it's a different location from where this one is. For example, if I stretch the spoon on out, that could impact the data. Perhaps where your spring scale, not perhaps, but where your spring scale attaches to the spoon obviously makes a difference. So what you really want to try to do is be as consistently, and this is most like the things that you see at a science fair, you want this to be as consistent as possible with regard to what's called controls in an experiment so that your data will make sense. I think that's all I need to tell you as far as getting you started. If we are going to compare our data as a class, we could have some things, perhaps for our hole, if I measure this, the hole on this spoon is 1 centimeter from the tip edge of the spoon. Also, if we want to be consistent where the clamp attaches to the spoon, and I measure it, I got it going out to the tip end 9 centimeters. So from where the spoon handle leaves the tabletop to the tip end of the spoon is 9 centimeters. And so if we all try to do it that way, we might could compare results from student to student. And that's really the way you want to do it if you have a face-to-face classroom. I don't know that it's going to work that well through a distance ed, but we could try the best we can. So 1 centimeter from the tip of the spoon to where you make your hole in the spoon, 9 centimeters from where the spoon leaves the table to the end of the spoon. If we can consistently do that, try to do that, we'll go from there. Also, make sure you use 3 spoons per restaurant. I think that's all I can think of as far as control. So I'm going to send you questions through discussion board asking you about the activity, asking you for your data. I want to see your data. And I'd also probably like to, not probably, I would like to see a picture of you doing this. And I guess you know why I'd want a picture of you doing this. So let me quickly show you this. This is the website called STEMWise Education Ole Miss edu. If you just Google STEMWise, there's several others that use this name. It's not trademarked. So you need to put in the full web address, STEMWise Education Ole Miss edu. Now I don't know how well it's going to show up. I've got it called up on my computer here. We'll see what it looks like. You see a picture of me as well as my colleague, Dr. Mont. On this particular picture, you're going to want to call up Scoop on STEM Quality Control Activity, and it will give you a lot better directions and written directions from what I demonstrated. So I look forward to seeing your data submitted on Monday night when I send you the discussion questions that go with this activity. Thank you.